I got it. You are not alone, Dr. Aswathy. Dr. Aswathy, you are not alone. Over to you.
Do you all know which is the most intelligent animal on this planet? Any guesses? Of course, other than human beings. Any guesses? It is the elephant.
Monkey.
It is the elephant. Yes. The unique factor of its intelligence is the tremendous concern it shows for others. A study even found that elephants can detect that the another one is stressed, and it uses its trunk to gently care for the suffering elephant. And even sometimes it emits a sweet sounding chirp to cheer it up. Isn't it beautiful? Dear Toastmasters and guests, empathy. It is connecting and communicating with an incredibly healing message. You are not alone. Not only elephants, but many other living beings are capable of more complex forms of empathy than we ever believed possible. But what about us? Are we empathetic towards others? From my childhood, I have been taught to show sympathy towards the weaker. I never knew what empathy is until I became the principal of a school. I was privileged enough to work under the able guidance of a national awardee teacher who was the dean of our school. She is the most selfless and compassionate person I know. She always guided me and helped me to understand the needs and difficulties of students. She always encouraged the admission of special children in our school. And finally, we had 15 special children. Imagine 15 special children. Some with autism, ADHD, cerebral palsy, dyslexia, and many other problems with special needs, which require continuous assistance for their disabilities. That may be medical, mental, or even psychological. As a principal of the school, I was more worried about the so-called normal students, about their safety, their development. I was more worried for my teachers that how are they going to handle these children in a normal classroom. I was burdened with the speculations and complaints by the parents. And finally, I raised my concern with the dean. She looked at me and said, Aswathy, just feel the pain, despair, and constraints of those parents. And think, how can you even refuse them, saying we don't give admission to special children? Think as a parent. Understand that inclusive education is not tolerance. It is unquestioned acceptance. Let the world know the unique abilities of these children. And that day, those words touched deep inside me and changed my perception about life. I became a newer version of myself, a more compassionate, more humane, and more empathetic. You all will be surprised to know that finally, with our love and support, 2 special students passed 12th grade, and now they are presently pursuing their graduation. I got the greatest lesson of my life from my dean. Value every individual. Never ignore even a single tear of others. A warm hug, A word of appreciation and a touch of humanity can solve many problems. Her subordinates and students always followed her and pledged their loyalty and trust only because she could empathize with others. And that is why her ailing student, who was in her last stage of cancer, wanted to meet her favorite teacher as a last wish. And only because of that eternal invisible bond, that student could travel miles just to spend her last moments with her favorite teacher. And finally, she left the world on her lap. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, empathy. The emotional connectedness is that magical emotion that has a power to transform any life. And that's what I learned from her too. And I realized that in this world of Toastmasters also, empathy is so empowering. We have beautiful journey to develop empathy. The messages given through speeches arouse an emotional connection that is so powerful. Our mentors, when they put their time and effort to feel our difficulties, are able to help us better. Through this way, they not only become true leaders, but also help us to break our shells and emerge as leaders. Friends, let us use this opportunity we have. Let us learn to listen, how to think and understand others' perceptives. Let's be like those incredible animals who show tremendous concern for others. Take a moment and think of that person who never made you feel alone. Now it's your turn. If you find someone in distress, do not ignore. Empathize with them. Be that hand to wipe their tears. Be that ears to listen to their worries. Be that shoulder to give them love and support. And say those magical words, you are not alone.